Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is George Blanchard showing off the Week 2 assignment. We are reverse engineering a website and its database. So, our website today is going to be MCHREC. This is a tool built to work for the Marvel Champions card game. So, basically, the way this works, in the game, you have various, Marvel heroes that you're able to play as well as aspects, which is like the specialty of your particular deck. You're then able to mix and match cards of those aspects to customize your experience. So let's pretend we like the Hulk. Hulk likes to be aggressive. Let's get some results. So what this site is doing is it is pulling from the Marvel CDB, separate website, their API, which has the data of everybody else, using that site, uploading their deck list, and then we are then pulling all of our Hulk aggression cards and its popularity versus every other aggression cards. So that's how you have your synergy cards. So basically, 63% of Hulk aggression decks are running limitless stamina. 56% synergy just means that not many other people are running it. So this is a particularly popular card for Hulk. So that is the basis of that site. So what we are doing here, um, so the way that this data is originally set up is as a JSON file. So I've separated some of this to see basically what we're doing. So for each of our decks, these have been slimmed down. So we have the date the deck was created. The investigator code just means the specific, the code for the hero card of the hero that's being used. This aspect is just, right what we saw, the aspect here. And the slots are basically the codes of each of these cards and the quantity that they're in. Meanwhile, the cards, for example, they have a name, they have an aspect, they have all these other things going on, just to see all of that. So, what I have done here is set up this little setup here. Okay, so um, our beautiful decks have. Oh, actually, well, I realized that I did that the other way around. So our decks each have a different aspect. So we have a one-to-one connection with there. Same thing with the cards, each have an individual aspect. Each deck is also going to point towards a hero, or I guess the other way around. Oh wait, oh, I did it wrong again, folks. It's gonna be okay, people. Calm down. It's all okay. So there we go. So each of our decks is going to pull, um, from the hero ID as a foreign key. We have an aspect ID as a foreign key, going to each of the individual aspects. Um, each of the cards is also going to, have an aspect and pull the ID from that. I actually realized that I'm missing a couple of things from my hero here. So we want to have the hero name. We want that to be non-null. Theoretically, we also want it to be unique, I suppose. Um, so basically, that is the flow of how this is all going to take place. So there are a few things that I guess I'm still not quite purely confident in. So with the decks, I kind of just have, the slots here as one behavior. One reason that made MCH easier to make. Oh, hold on, folks. Okay, we're back. Um, so yeah, as I was saying, so the slots here, like I said, in general, this started as a JSON file, which was pretty convenient to do it that way, because each of our slots, we don't always know. There might be duplicate cards of each slot, so we don't know how many cards are going to be in the game. Also, you can have a deck of from 40 cards to 50 cards. So as far as that goes, doing it in SQL, how we would do these slots would be a little more tricky. So I imagine that in practice, we would be basically doing a select to find the slots, and then after that, doing some other grinding, or maybe from there we would step back from SQL, do a bit of JavaScript to, play with what we get. I don't know. I don't know. But so there's one last relationship here, which is so our heroes, as we talked about here. So each of the hero in this JSON, its investigator code is actually the code of its card in the card data sample. Therefore, there does theoretically want to be a um, a connection here, but I theoretically don't want it to be the card's ID itself generated here. Theoretically, I want the code of the card as it relates in the game. So there are a couple ways that this could be handled. I could, in fact, just sort of get rid of this card's ID and basically, the code for the card is the ID, or vice versa. I just get rid of this value and then, that works. Or I don't know, I don't know yet really if it's possible to have this instead of pointing to card's ID to point to code. That is something I haven't figured out yet. I'm sure I'll get the answer as we go later on in the class. But for now, this is our relationship for MCHREC in SQL. So we have the decks that have an aspect ID, pull a hero ID. The cards feed into the aspect ID, and the heroes feed into the cards. So it's a nice little. I kind of didn't expect them to all be interconnected until I started making these together. But anyway, that is it. MCHREC and SQL. Here's our little EER diagram. So that is all I have. So God bless. Don't do drugs. Bye bye.